It is a beautiful spring day, the first day of spring, and I'm going to be working on what I call my little Japanese maple garden. It has been forming slowly. I have a Japanese maple planted here. You can see little buds are forming. And so my hope is that it will grow up and be a little canopy in this area, a little sitting quiet spot. And this area does get shade throughout the day, and then some sun, a little bit in the morning, a little bit in the afternoon, dappled shade throughout. And that Japanese maple is called I cannot remember. Oh, I'll remember here in a minute. It is, I believe it's a bloodgood Japanese maple. I got it on a clearance sale at Walmart, and I think it was just, I don't think it was labeled correctly with like a variety name, so that's what I'm guessing it is. Just based on the description. My grandma lived in Arkansas for many years, and so this is a stone from her house. It's a big old quartz rock, and then I recently moved that euonymus there. I've got some tulips coming in. Little tulip is opening up today, and then I have some Japanese iria. It just looks really dimmy right now, but there is growth on it. This is all just clearance stuff that I've gotten. A juga that I actually divided from another area of the garden. So just bit by bit. And then I have some Japanese anemone here, honoring Joubert, and it survived the winter, so it's an autumn bloomer. And then I've got a little pathway going through it because this is where our hose hookup is. We've got a baby blue spruce and a dwarf Alberta spruce, and the bigger one is that. And then last year I put an espalier on the wall here with this star jasmine. Now we are zone 7, so star jasmine is usually not hardy through the winter in our area, but this one was called a Madison star jasmine, which is supposed to be a new hardy variety. However, the hardiness, the lowest zone is zone 7. So it was doing pretty good. It is evergreen throughout the winter. And then we got a couple days of just really cold, like it was down 10 and below in areas. So it took a bit of a beating. So there is, I scraped the stem, and there is like green. It's alive, but a lot of the leaves have died off, have browned up, and so just gonna water it, give it some fertilizer, and hope for new growth. I think it's gonna be okay. It just looks a little rough right now. It's normally like a darker green, and then it gets these little white flowers around May, Mother's Day time, and it smells so good. You can just be walking down the path, not even near it, and you'll smell it in the breeze. And then in this corner right here, in this big old pot, I have a Crimson Queen Japanese Maple. And you can see buds on her. And this was another clearance item at Walmart. So, my Japanese maple garden's coming together whenever there's a good sale. So, in saying that, I do have an autumn fern in there right now too, and it looks pretty rough. I'm thinking I want to take the ajuga and move it along the back side of the Japanese maple in the middle, and then let it grow in between the stones. I'm going to mulch it up, fertilize what needs fertilized. And then I am on the lookout for some of that Japanese forest grass, like I think it's called Conoclola, maybe to put as a border, or like a shorter version as like a hedge around the edge. I'm still kind of dreaming up ideas. I think maybe a hydrangea would be pretty right here in this corner. Some ferns, or a heuchera or hosta. Just let me know what you think. Now the anemone, like I said, it blooms in the fall, and so it will like send up tall spikes of white delicate blooms. They're called windflowers, kind of bloom in the fall, but and then the spirea has little pink blossoms. It's supposed to. Anyways, like I said, a lot of this is just like transplanted, clearance items, stuff given, stuff moved around, so we'll just see how it comes together. If you have any ideas, please let me know. This bench is a little chippy, so I dug around in the garage and found this spray paint. It says Satin Espresso. It's a dark brown. Just gonna give it a quick little facelift. Alright, that doesn't look too bad for one can of spray paint in less than 5 minutes. Give a little refresh to the bench. Alright, I got a bunch of stuff cleaned up out of here. I've got a Camellia sinensis plant, and this is a tea plant, so you can grow tea or make tea from this depending on how you harvest it. So anyways, I fertilized that, fertilized the blue spruce, the Alberta spruce. I fertilized the Madison Star Jasmine, and I gave it some more potting soil mix, and I fertilized the Crimson Queen Japanese Maple, and then I had some bamboo poles that I had used in my garden last year. So I took like the brown sheath part off of them, put 3 of them in the pot so I could, it has this Japanese maple has grown a lot. It was super small, so I need to tie the main branch to the middle bamboo, but I thought it kind of adds a nice touch there and gives some height in that corner. So I am thinking of planting some irises here. This back corner is an absolute mess. We had plumbing done a month or 2 ago, and this whole area got dug up, but just a disaster, and these irises survived. I just recently moved this bird bath And bird feeder there, just stuck it in there for now. I've not worked on this area at all, obviously. But I am thinking of taking some of the surviving irises, and there's a few little ones right there, and tucking them about in the Japanese maple garden just to give some green and some height for now. And I think it will look nice there, so that's what I'm gonna do. Alright, I ended up transplanting all of those irises here, so I think it's gonna be good. From the ashes of disaster grow the irises of success, right? Let's hope so. Alright, I've got it all mulched in, and I'm just watering everything really good, giving it a good soak, and then I'll take you through and show you what I've got going on. Alright, the Japanese maple garden has been freshened up for spring. I'm gonna just go about and show you around and talk about each plant. Got a little pathway. Got the baby blue spruce, purple heart, and then the freshly painted bench. Looks nice, a nice little sitting spot. And as we walk around the pathway, we've got our Crimson Queen Japanese maple. And I'll show you again once they leaf out. And added some bamboo supports. A little interest, a little visual height. Here I'm going to baby some Boston ferns I overwintered in the garage. I fertilized them, gave them some water. They do have signs of life under there, so we'll see if they come around. The Madison Star Jasmine Espalier, gave her some fertilizer, some more potting soil. Hopefully she bounces back. And then my Dracaena plant, the tea plant, which is a Camellia sinensis, and then the dwarf Alberta spruce. I'd fail to mention, see these two tiny little green plants right there? I found some these two plants down on the ground when I was mulching. I'd forgotten I had put them there, so I thought I would add them to the pot, and I forget the name right now. Those two little green plants was vinca. I had put them in the ground 2 years ago, and they never did take off in the ground over here, so I thought maybe they'll take off in that pot and just trail down that pot. We'll see. Across the front here, I've got chocolate chip ajuga, and then some tulips. I forget the variety, but I'll look them up and put it in the video. And then on each corner here that's kind of wiry right now, there's one over here, Japanese spirea, and they'll bush out and they've got little pink blooms on them, like a very light pink. And then the irises that I transplanted over here today, cottage drift there, the stone from my grandma, the quartz rock, and I just added some other rocks around it. The euonymus, I always have trouble saying that one. Euonymus, I transplanted over here the other day. Isn't this tulip beautiful? It's just so dainty and pretty. Some more irises. Here is the what they call windflower. It's a Japanese anemone called Honorine Jobert, and it's supposed to get really tall in the autumn and put forth white blooms with a yellow center. I planted it maybe last summer and it just stayed as a plant, so we'll see if it does anything this year. But I was happy to see that it overwintered, and we might see some blooms this year. It looks like it's doing well. And then there's blooms on the Japanese maple here, which I think is a bloodgood. So that is it for now. I'm happy with how it looks cleaned up. It looks nice, and I'll just play around in it and add things, take things out, and get it just like I want it eventually. I'd like to get one more Japanese maple in a pot, but we'll just see what we find on clearance. All right. Well, thank you for watching. Have a lovely day.